Hey, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Catch That, where we get to talk about albums, artists, and eras of R&B, and we talk to people in the music industry and people who are music experts. I am naturally Elite, and that's my bro,
JR.
and we are the R&B representatives, and we are bringing back the good brother, our play cousin, Zoe. What up, though?
What up, though? I don't know how many. I lost count. How many times have I been on here?
I
Five.
think this is six. I
This
think
is
this is six.
Wow.
Yep, this is six. Woo!
Yes. And it is apropos that I said, what up, though? We got started because, Jared, how about you tell the folks what we talk about today, and then we'll have Zoe tell us why.
Okay. So y'all know we said Zoe has been on like 6 times now. And you see he slowly creeped in hip hop a little bit because the last episode we did was with Missy and we did Super Duper Fly. So it was a little hip hop in this one. Well, Zoe went all the way there on this. All the way there. We can only do it with him. So it's cool. But we talking about Dilla's Welcome to Detroit. And obviously, if you know who Zoe is, you crazy if you don't. You know why he wanted to talk about this album, but we're going to let him explain why do you want to talk about this album and all that good stuff.
Well, this is an album. Welcome to Detroit came out in I think it was February 2001. At the time, I was in Bowling Green, Kentucky, still at Western Kentucky University. I had just graduated with my bachelor's in graphic design, and then was staying to do some preliminary courses to get an MBA, which I never got. But I was there another year, so I'm away from home. JD's Welcome to Detroit comes out, and this is like just reminds me of the crib. And at that point, I was already locked in with Slum Village's Fantastic Volume 2. Was already completely familiar with Jay's catalog pretty much up to that point. And for him to come out with a solo album, like I was all over it. And I think we talked about this a little bit off camera, like Welcome to Detroit, Fantastic Volume 2, Voodoo, The Roots, Things Fall Apart, like Water for Chocolate by Common, like those 5 around that same time was like and Mama's Gun. That was like my study guide, because at that point I was finished with playing baseball, and all of that energy went into music and making music. And how can I make it sound like that? How can I make it sound like Volume 2, or with that type of swing and with that type of make it sound full. I'm able to play, but I'm a hip hop head, so I like the hard drums, but I want to manipulate them to where you get an extra nod, when you nod into the music. And this, when Welcome to Detroit came out, like this was it for me. I ran this so much, and like he had the 12-inch after that, the Fuck the Police 12-inch. Like I still have it, and I'm surprised that it still plays right now. I ran that vinyl so much, man. And like as we talk about this, like pretty much track by track, like it's gonna bring back a lot of memories of my start in making music.
Now that Abstractions, your album with you and Soul Black Guy, that's why Northland makes a lot of sense. When I was listening to this album today, I was like, okay, Zoe, okay. I was like, this is my little crib. Okay, I get it. Yep. I get it. And it's so crazy when this album first came out too. It was like, I knew Dilla, like I knew of him. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, with Mama's Gun, and Jimmy Jam loves J Dilla so much. And when Velvet Rope came out and he did the remix of Got Till It's Gone, it was like, yo, and I remember Jimmy doing so many interviews talking about this dude. He was like, yo, J Dilla is one of the best producers out. So me following him is like, oh, wait a minute. So this is the dude that did Far Side. This was the first time that, of course, I'm looking at liner notes and all this kind of stuff, especially with hip hop. You know what I mean? My dad listened to it, but he ain't know it. You know what I'm saying? He was a listener. So I had to take what my mom did from her soul stuff and was like, all right, let me see who this is. So then when it goes from that, then I like Water for Chocolate with Common. And then I knew about him with Mama's Gun and D'Angelo. So I was like, yo, when I heard he was coming out with an album, I heard Pause first. I heard that on LimeWire. If these kids will never know, and and I heard it on there, and I was like, "Yo, this shit is ill." Now I don't know who the rapper is on it, y'all, or the rap, or the group, or whoever it was on it, and I was like, "Yo, this joint is serious." And it took me out of my R&B bag because this is 2000s going into 2001 because it came out in February. So I'm still on Mama's Gun. I'm still on Voodoo. I'm still on Just Listen. I'm still on all these. And it took me out of there. And I remember playing this joint and I was like, yo, this is ill. Like, it took me out of that for a second. So when my dad would come in the house, he would be like, well, we don't got R&B coming out of the room. Okay. Like, now we got some hip hop coming out of the room. Like, he normally know that's where I'm at. But when he heard this, and he didn't even know who the heck Dilla was either. But it was glad that he heard some hip hop coming out. You know what I mean? So that's what I got into it. But once I heard Pause, I was like, I want this record. And I went in Best Buy and got it. Even though I heard Pause on LimeWire, but I went and got it. Or was it Circuit City? One of them.
Media Place.
One of them. And I got it. And this joint is serious. I obviously I ain't listened to it in a minute, but when I came back, I was like, oh, I'm like you, Zoe. It brought back so many memories of that time. So, whew.
Yeah, and it's aged really well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It felt, going back to it because I haven't listened to it in full in a minute, and it felt fresh.
Yeah.
It wasn't dated, whatever that means, but it just felt good. Still.
And I think with the way that he approached, I even studied that. Like it's funny, like you open up the album and it's got the kind of just a quick, short couple of statements about each song in there. And, that was the first time he had done that, like, kind of pulled the veil a little bit on part of his process. And like, I was, like, this is great. Like now I finally get to see like, how this shit is made. Cause I wish he did this for a climax and, that type of thing. But it just seemed just really organic. Even the fact that like this album was supposed to be an instrumental album. And then, they approached him with a couple of like the Think Twice records and the Brazilian Groove record, the Earth, Wind and Fire joint, where he kind of starts, humming and singing on these joints, and then it becomes, something totally different. And it's like, we hadn't heard him do a Think Twice or a Brazilian Groove or Bossa Nova, Rico Suave, Bossa Nova, what I mean? We hadn't heard that yet. Like a lot of the stuff still coming out around that time was still very much hip hop based. Voodoo was kind of inspired by him, but I don't think he got credit in Voodoo. We heard him in the Mama's Gun, of course, with Didn't You Know and stuff like that. But I'm really happy that BBE kind of gave him carte blanche on everything, because that showed me as a new, just a fresh wannabe producer cat that is like, you don't have to do just hip hop. Like you can love hip hop and then dabble into jazz and dabble into R&B and dabble into Latin jazz and do all these, have your hands in all these different pots on the same project, and it works. So I think that's like my takeaway from Welcome to Detroit was really that, like you can really expand into whatever you want to do as long as it's dope. And I think that really kind of fixed my mindset on just make music, man. You ain't got to make, if you make beat tapes, that's cool. If you make straight R&B, that's cool, but you can combine the two, or you can do whatever you want. And I think that was a big lesson for me with Welcome to Detroit and listening to it. It's like, yo, this joint is all over the place, but it's very cohesive.
Damn, I didn't even know this joint was supposed to be an instrumental. I thought, you know how people be like, you know how they could take the, you know what I'm saying, people out and make their own instrumental. I didn't know that it was supposed to be an instrumental album, because now when you go online, they got all the instrumentals. And I thought, did they do that themselves, or did they bring out a instrumental album too?
That was way after.
Oh, okay.
The instrumental joint came out, I think, for the 20th anniversary, actually.
Oh,
from what I understand, they put out all the instrumentals and the like some of the original joints, because like even a lot of the well, I think Dilla was kind of known for this. Like he would have cats record to a track and then switch the whole shit up and release it a different way. Because like it's like that. Come Get It with Elzai, like those were all recorded on different joints. Sometimes he had cats record to a click track and then he put the beat underneath it later.
What? Yeah. That dude was genius, y'all.
Yeah. Now he had a distinct vision, man, and
in the ear. Oh my God, man. Ugh.
And I think he kind of showed that even if you're doing a fusion of R&B and hip hop, you don't have to water down the hip hop. Like the R&B, the hip hop is still like
yes, yes,
you know,
yep.
You'll never mistake that it's there.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And I love the fact that this album is Detroit. Like it's, you know, all the artists that participated in this album is you know, from Detroit. And you know, I can like, I don't know, I can tell. Like I think I can't remember. We may have had this talk before where, you know, you can go overseas and be in the airport and you look at somebody and be like, he from Detroit. Like I can already tell. Like, I already know, man. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know. It's a feeling. It's how you kind of carry yourself just through the verses. It's all kinds of shit. Like a lot of times I toss up between Welcome to Detroit and Rough Draft, because Rough Draft is that's just JD just over just some dirty shit, and he's talking shit for, you know, 8-9 tracks. And I'm like, yo, that's so Detroit. That's so the crib, man. And I love every bit of it, man. So, you know, when I play Welcome to Detroit, like it puts me back home.
You sound like our brother Sin for real, because he's from, that's the one I asked you before.
Yeah.
And when I told him, I was like, yo, we gonna talk about Welcome to Detroit today. He's like, nigga, what?
Yeah.
Like, you are. I was like, yeah, it was so. He was like, well, shit, that's the person to talk about it with. Because he was like, yo, that reminds me of home so much. And yo, I got like a 17-minute audio before this. So I'm like, he was like, yo, y'all don't fuck this up, yo.
We good. We good. We go in. We'll go in.
I'm like, bro, we got you, yo. I'm like, come on, don't do Oh man. So yeah, y'all ready to get into this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So the intro, Welcome to Detroit. When I heard that, I was like, to me, I ain't gonna keep it real with you, it sounded like New York to me. Like it did. Like when I heard it, I was like, it sounded like Brooklyn to me. Like I'm like, okay, this is how Detroit sound. All right.
It's real dirty. It's dirty.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this ain't nothing but home for me. I'm like, if this is Detroit, I'm good. And now that I've been out there now, I get it. Like I'm like, okay, I got it. Because I'm telling y'all, like, Sin, he says he loves Detroit, but then once in like 99, 2000, he got that New York itch. So he started liking the Mobb Deep and all that. So when Dilla came out with this, he was like, yeah, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got our own shit, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Now, and it's funny because you can technically say that this album has 2 intros, because Welcome to Detroit, where he just kind of over it, he just kind of talking his shit.
Yep.
And Y'all Ain't Ready, which is, you know, less than 2 minutes. And it's like another intro that falls right into Think Twice on beat. You know what I mean? And from what I understand, you know, in the liner notes, like he said, he did the Welcome to Detroit intro like right before he turned the album in. Like I think the night before he turned it in. Wasn't even gonna say nothing on it. And I think Dank ended up persuading him to go ahead and talk on it, and he did. And the Y'all Ain't Ready joint was from like 99. Like that was from a couple years before.
What?
Yeah, that was a track from a couple years before. And you can tell, like, I can kind of tell, like, that one sounds a little bit older.
Okay.
But like it's still, and even the way, like on that one and on like Shake It Down, and if y'all remember the remix he did for SpaceX, the Eve remix,
Okay.
where he has like these hi-hats, these 16 hi-hats, but they're not like this. They're kind of almost like a train.
It's like he's off, but his beats be so off. Like you like,
and he would do, you know what I mean? He would do that and play it live. Like I remember hearing that, like, yo, my first batch of beats, like a lot of like it had all that shit in it. It had all kinds. I was biting all types of Dilla shit, man. But I mean, that's what I like surrounded myself with. Like I surrounded myself with Jay and Primo and Pete Rock and Alchemist, and I was really digging in. And once you kind of take other people's style, like the more you practice and the more you record, the more you play, like that kind of shit, it kind of breaks off of you. Like you morph into your own style. But in the beginning, yeah, a lot of my shit was sounding like welcome to Fantastic Volume 2, Water for Chocolate.
Oh man.
Yeah, you're right. That's how you start. I mean, even myself as a writer, when I first started really writing like poetry and stuff, like if you go back and read my old stuff, it all looked like, because Nikki Giovanni is my favorite. So everything you go read, it feels like a Nikki Giovanni poem. And it took, but after doing that emulating, and then I finally figured out what my voice was.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the different.
And that is when you're able to kind of break through that mode and figure out what you are able to do, and who you're able to do it with, and yes, that's a hell of a thing for an artist.
But y'all ain't ready. Let me tell you something. When I heard that shit and Dilla came in rhyming like this, I said, what? I was like, he's the producer though. Like I never, I never heard him spit. So I'm thinking like, this him? Like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? And then for me, and I always try to find something familiar, right? So y'all know on Pump Pump with Snoop Dogg, right? And the Quincy Jones joint that he uses, that the kitty with a big frame joint that he used. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, but Dilla didn't use that. He didn't use that, but I like to find something familiar that can make me get into the records. I was like, yo, and Dilla's spinning on it, and it's short. Like I tell y'all, I kept rewinding. Yeah, y'all, we rewind back then, and, and I kept rewinding that joint. I couldn't pass it because he killed this joint. Like it brings you in, and I was just like, I'm in. I'm there, yo. Like,
and that's one thing, man. We always talk about Jay as a producer and as a just a musical mind, and we know all about that. But like his rhyming ability is kind of underappreciated. He's not like the lyricist. You're not going to find you're not going to go as far as like an Elzai with Jay. Like his is like he's style and pocket and emphasis. Like it's really, really crazy. I think one of the best examples of this is like on the J-Lib album. He's got a song with Frank and Dank called McNasty Filth. And my shout out to my man Nick Speed. I remember we was listening to this like when it came out in 2003, and we was like, we're noticing as he's rhyming, the hi-hats are following his cadence. So it's like as he's rhyming on each syllable, the hi-hat is following. So we sitting there listening to it. We're both producers. We like, yo, did they lay the hi-hat first and then he rhymed, or did he rhymed first and then they laid the hi? Like we trying to figure like, yo, this shit is fucking crazy right now. I don't understand. I'm guessing that he rhymed it and then they added the hi-hat.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking crazy. I wouldn't doubt it. But like even on, so like after they not y'all not ready, it falls into Think Twice.
Ooh.
And on Think Twice, as he's singing, the synth or horns is following his singing.
I realized.
Yes.
That I realized. Well, you know I'm gonna know where a horn gonna follow. So
right. So as he's singing,
I was like, yo,
yeah,
crazy.
So like that line,
like, yo, this dude is he's on some genius shit. Like, because there ain't nobody doing no shit like that. Like, if you gonna get me with any other instrument and that shit is following, he's with the horn, I'm like, yo, this shit. I was doing the same thing in my room. Like, I literally was like, yo, he's following this. I was like, no, Dilla is nasty. I already thought he conquered the world of R&B. Now this, I was like
it's really crazy. And that's Dwele and his brother Antoine on horns. That's Dwele on trumpet and Antoine on trombone, I believe.
Say what?
Yeah, and Dwele's on keys too.
Wait. So you done fucked me up. Wait a minute. So that's not Dwele singing on the record?
No, that's Jay.
Yeah, now that I knew, but I didn't know the.
I didn't. I thought that was Dwele. That's why I was gonna tell y'all. And see, I still thought it was because I was gonna be like, that was my first introduction to him.
Nope.
JR, that's why I sent you that article talking about Jay finds his voice.
You did.
Yep. He talked about how the record was playing, and Jay had the blunt. And he take the hit of the blunt, blow it out, and through the smoke, he's singing the Think Twice joint.
Holy shit!
Yep.
Wow, I thought that was Dwele for real. Like, I would have argued somebody down and be like, nah, that's when I was introduced to Dwele. Nah, he was on keys and trumpet.
Well, you were, and you didn't know it.
Right.
No, exactly.
I was, and then the right way anyway. Wow. You learn something new every damn day. Ain't that a bitch? Because I knew the Donald Byrd joint, of course.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and then I knew those horns from what's her name? Lisa, let the beat hit him. If y'all listen to them horns on there, it's on this. So I was like, oh yeah, I know this. But the singer, I never thought it was no damn. You know what? Wow.
And what's crazy is like he took Think Twice, and I love, like, we love Think Twice. Like, you know, that's Mizell Brothers. You know what I mean? Like that's the blueprint.
Yeah.
Like they took Think Twice and made it better. Like it was warm, and you know the horns came in and they real thick, and you know the breakdown part, the dum 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 dum, which just break down to a snap, and then they come in with the dum dum dum.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Them drums were snapping.
I feel like a little kid now, yo, like for real.
Yeah, and like he said in the description, like, you know, he wanted to make it sound like a 7-inch record, and I think that they accomplished that fairly well.
And is there an extended version of this?
Not that I know of. There could be, but not that I'm aware of.
Oh my God. I would love for this to be like a 12-minute record. If they wanted it to, it could have been like for real. Like, you don't want this joint to end. Like, it's just so ill. Like, oh my God.
This was the joint. Like how you just said, well, y'all ain't ready. That was me with Think Twice back then.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I couldn't listen to this joint one time. I had to keep re-upping.
Wow. And then to know people did it, like, you know, then Erica ended up doing it for Worldwide. She ended up doing it.
Yep.
But his is the best. I'm sorry. I agree with you, Zoe. I'm sorry. Look, Donald Byrd, respect to you. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. and all that. But I'm sorry. Dilla did some shit to it to make that shit. Ooh.
It was a nice, like, 360, you know, full circle moment because Donald Byrd is also from Detroit, also from the East Side. So, nice.
Zoe gonna show off the day, y'all. I was like, is Zoe gonna say? Is he gonna say about Donald Byrd? Is he gonna say he from Detroit?
Yep. And I believe from the same area. I think he's from Kona too. I think he's from Kona Garden as well.
Oh, see, I
nice,
know that.
nice full circle moment right there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's cool. And that's so this is where I'm gonna fuss a little bit. That's dope and it's paying homage. But I find and one thing I love about Dilla, it wasn't just sampling something just to be sampled. And I think some people think just the act of sampling is paying homage or honoring, and it ain't. Because if you don't know why it's dope, or you just listen to that one song, or you don't even know a little sprinkle of some history, then that's stealing. When you
right,
honestly.
right.
That's real.
It's a fine line, and I'm glad you said that and made it clear, because Dilla was a student. You know, when I in my works with Tall Black Guy, I feel that same way about him. I feel the same way about Fonte as well. Like, these guys are they're students, and you know, I see that, you know, them kind of following in Dilla's footsteps in that sense, because like he would, you know, wake up and run records and clean the studio. You know what I mean? Like, that's how he would hear, and you had to kind of surround yourself. And like, even when me and Tall Black used to get up here, you know, we run music while we eating. Like, we break bread, listen to music, surround ourselves with something, you know, we may have never heard before. And, you know, that kind of gets you in the mood to make something dope. So I'm glad you said that, at least, because that's perfect. That's a perfect way to put it.
Oh yeah. And then again, he would name the song of the sample that he used. That's what I like too. Like, he would do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Think Twice is Donald Byrd's record, but he named it his, and then gave that. It's just a whole different thing about giving respect and paying homage. And like you said, Elise, I'm glad you said that, yo, because there's really, like Zoe said, a fine line, because you can go over that and be like, yeah, nigga, you stealing. Like you nah. There's producers that do that, but yeah.
Like, oh, I found this one song and it's hot, and they don't go any further. So then the sample doesn't sound as good, because you're not considering the nuances of that artist or of their band, or like it's like you're skipping a step.
Yes.
That could make you better.
Right.
You know, the why is this done? You know, if you're going to be a producer, or if you're going to be someone who talks about music, you can't just if somebody comes, like on our Catch That Mini, if somebody comes to talk about a song, I can't just go listen to the song to get ready for the show. I got to go listen to the album. I got to go read a little bit about the history of the group. And, you know, if it's somebody I'm not familiar with, like, I'm going to go a little bit further.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Connect all the dots.
Brian into himself in each damn episode. I was like, who gonna say it? Is it gonna be Elise or Zoe?
He's a producer, and that pays homage, and he's connecting dots. He's connecting past the present, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Facts. Y'all better preach today. Y'all going in already. We ain't even damn near through the album yet.
Right.
Oh, okay. This song, funny. That's why Dilla is freaking different. How the hell you use the ad from the clap on, clap off? How do you do that? Like, because when I heard, I was like, is it? No.
Clap on, clap on, clap off.
Clap and then I started. Oh, shit, he's really using that joint.
And the clapper's crazy, because this was the only one on the album that wasn't produced solely by him. This was Kareem Riggins did this.
Kareem, one. right.
And Jay got the co-production, but like, yeah, that clappers, that shit's
come on, like, I was like, no, son. And then I'd be so mad because these songs is only like a minute and some change, or it's like 2 minutes, and I'm like, come on, y'all, I want more.
Yeah.
Like I want more. Like why?
Yeah.
Like
it's really like 7 to 8 minutes have gone by and you've gone through 4 songs.
4 songs, yes. Like, how does that happen? Like I'm just like, yo, really? Like, and I don't think nobody but Dilla could think, and Kareem could think of some shit like that. Mm-hmm. Like, who else gonna do that? Yeah. I look, I got my favorite producers, but I know Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis ain't thinking of doing no damn clap on clap. Hell no. Like, nah. Hell no. Ain't nobody think about that, but that just shows how much of a good ear that they both had too, just to do something like that and make it so ill. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah.
I think they kind of came together at a good time because like Kareem was like already jazz, and then he's trying to move toward hip hop, and Jay was already hip hop. He tried to move towards jazz and live instrumentation, so it like meshed together really well. You know, Kareem's contributions to this album on this and a few other tracks on on drums, and they had the rapper Blue on this joint who did like a 14-bar verse before Dank cut it. You out of there? You know? 14 bars.
Like, is that it?
Yep, and then right into Elzhi's joint.
Come and get it.
Oh boy.
Listen. That is a favorite of mine. That is like after you ain't ready. Come get it is my shit. And I got a question before we even get into this.
Okay.
Do y'all think that he may have been inspired by High Tech's The Blast?
No. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because, and I think this may have been in his book, but I remember hearing this before.
Okay.
Either House Shoes or I can't remember who. Maybe it was Shoes. Because when he heard The Blast, he thought it was Tech biting.
Oh, okay.
So nope.
No, because I say because when I hear Come and Get It, I got it for me. I blast The Blast, then I go to Come and Get It, and then I do Dwell A's I'm Cheating.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I go like that. Now I do that, but then I was just like, when I heard it, I was like, this shit is hard, but I'm thinking this could be some, like, was he inspired by High Tech? But now that you said he wasn't. So.
No, I don't think so. And I love the Blast. And I love High Tech. Like, High Tech was killing.
Yeah.
Oh boy. High Tech got boy. Yeah. This shit about to be 4 hours. man. Now I'm a really big High Tech fan.
Yo. So okay, so you confirmed that for me because I've ever since maybe about 5 years ago, I was thinking about that. And I was like, so for you to pick this, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna ask Zoe and I'm gonna ask Elise. Cause sometimes Elise would be like, why would you even ask that? Yeah, it makes sense. So, but that's because I told you, right, Elise, before this, I was like, I'm gonna ask y'all a question about a song. Cause sometimes she'll be like, no, I don't see it. And then sometimes she'd be like, well, why would you ask that? Make it make sense. Like, come on.
He can't win with me.
At all. So I was like, all right, I'm going to ask. And you already confirmed, but this joint is my shit. This is my second favorite.
Oh, for sure.
Period.
For sure.
Period.
Right.
And that's, what's his name that's on there? I don't want
to
Okay. All right.
Elzhi. And this, to me, this album, for me personally, like as a producer, I was really taking notes because I was like, you know, these are the cats I want to meet and work with as a producer. Like, these are all the dudes that I want to meet and work with. And funny enough, I think Elzhi was the first one from the album that I met and worked with. Not worked with, but first one that I met. Because Elzhi was the one who brought me into Slum Village's studio.
Oh.
Back in 2000, I met him in 2002 and got in the studio at the beginning of 2003.
Damn.
So that was like my first connector. Elzai and House Shoes were my first connectors.
So did you ever get to meet Dilla?
Yeah, I met him once.
Oh, you did say that. Yes, you did say that on Voodoo. You did say you met him. That's right. That's
met him
right.
one met him one time. Met him one time. And pretty much met or either met or know pretty much just about everybody on this album. And it's dope to have seen Elzai come on the Abstractions album for the ride.
Yes.
Because we had known each other so long and we had never like officially worked together on anything that came out anyway.
Right.
So that was dope. And I think that Come Get It was exactly what Elzai needed as far as production, because it was very simple. That shit was groovy, mid-tempo, and he just let Elzai go, because that's all you need to do is just let him go, and he gonna wrap circles around your favorite rapper.
Damn, Sin said that shit too. I told you I got a 17-minute audio. So yeah, he said, yeah, I will just rap you all the way through if you just let him loose.
Yep.
And you know what I'm saying? That's why he was like, he feel like he needs Dilla's production now. Like he was like, he so needs him now, he feels.
But you know, his album with Georgia is dope.
Oh, really?
One he just came out with his album with Georgia.
Because I think he did the Illmatic joint that he did. I thought was dope too.
Mm-hmm.
That was dope too. I thought that was dope. You know what I mean? But see, I'm not really familiar. Again, I didn't know he was on here, but I knew Elzai from Abstractions. I knew that. I was like, oh, I don't know this dude, but obviously I did know him because I thought this was Dilla.
Yeah. Now he like L is probably one of my favorites. He's definitely one of my favorites from the crib. L, Royce, Finale, yeah, One Below. Like those are my guys.
Now normally I would have looked at you, Joe, like, yo, who is these people that he's talking about? But again, I'm probably gonna say this so many times after this audio message. I know these guys.
Yeah, I'm cheating a little bit because it's hip hop representatives today. So
yeah, it's cool. Nah, it's cool because I was like, I'm prepared for this. So a lot of these people that you speaking of, I'm like, oh, I heard of them because Sin talks about them. So I'm like, I knew this. So that's why when you was like saying these names, I'm like, oh yeah, I heard of these before.
Because like to my core, like I'm a hip hop head.
Oh, that one back there too.
Yeah, that's pretty much my core. So right. So like an album like this, I could appreciate and love. Right along with my R&B side. You know what I mean? Because it's still it's hip hop, but it's still melodic. It's still a lot of melodies on it. It's still that feel. It feels good. A lot of shit feels real smoky. A lot of it is really has a lot of vinyl feel to it. So it's really warm. It's a warm album.
I was just gonna say that. Do they have this on vinyl too?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, okay.
They did a big 20-year. See, this showed me that JR ain't read the articles I sent him, because he would know the answer to these questions.
I need to.
You just had to add that in. You just had to do that, right?
I'm gonna take a quick time. Let y'all figure shit out.
At least I was just about to lie though. I was just about to be like, wait, you sending that just before we got on? No, you sent me that joint like 3:00 this afternoon.
I did. And I texted, I said, just to help you with some last minute research.
She did.
You may not know.
No putting me all out there. All right, you got it. You got it. Oh,
you tried it though. It was cute.
Yeah, I did. All right, you right. I'm sorry.
You better pull that article up on the side.
Oh man, what? So you
on your iPad.
That's why one hand is. You can't see one hand right now. I'm like, oh, all right. Let me pull this up right quick because I do not want these coming from my neck no more on this episode. Oh God. Oh man. All right. Big Booty Express.
Oh yeah. Wait, no, we skip pause.
Oh, wait, pause. Oh, okay, yeah, we skip pause. Yeah. that when I first heard it, that's what made me want to get this. I was like, this shit is nasty, yo. Like, whoo. I'm
And the
like,
thing, and the thing with Jay, man, like he would take really common samples, really common drums and that type of thing, and turn it into something just totally different. Because I mean, the drums on this have been sampled numerous times, and I know for me, like I heard that and I figured out where it was from, and I took the drums and sampled it and used it a couple times. I don't think it's been on anything like from Passion and Definition on, but like before that, I was like, because I mean the drums hit really, really hard. You know, when you sample them in, and but like this, I mean, it's a really, and from what I understand, I think that beat was from like '99.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
And it feels so fresh. Like Elise said, even now when you listen to it, like it feels so fresh. Like,
Yes.
And that joint was done at 99. So you telling me why he's working on Erica and D'Angelo and Common, he's coming up with these crazy. Did he sleep? The hell?
I don't think so.
It don't seem that way.
There was a lot of beat tapes, a lot of beat. You know, he was trying to get the bread. He was out for the bag, for the production bag.
Yeah.
You know, but like, you know, this is the first time we all heard Frank and Dank, and you know,
that's
Frank,
who they are.
Yeah, this is the first time we heard Frank and Dank, and I was just like, yo, like these Frank and Dank. Shout out to Frank and Dank. Like they remind me of just Detroit niggas. Like I'm hearing. You know what I mean? Like I'm hearing the crib on whack.
Right.
And Pause was the first and only single from the album on the flip. Was the, I think it was at the time it was called Track, featuring Fat Cat. It was the featuring Fat Cat joint. Like that joint really don't even have a name. And it was just featuring Fat Cat. That was on the B side. And I remember hearing Pause and I was like, what the fuck are you doing with these drums? And you know, the big horns.
I'm telling you, because I heard it on I don't know what mixtape I might have heard it from. I don't remember, but I heard it and I was like, I need this song. Mm-hmm. And one of my friends was like, yo, this is Dilla. And they was like, yo, you know who that is? Yeah. So I was like, yo, they was like, the joint's called Pause. So I was like, all right, let me go home and get this joint. And I played that joint over and over and over. I was just like, yo, what is this? Like, it messed up my whole mental though. But then finding out it, of course, it's Dilla, I'm like, well, look what he did for everybody else. Like, it makes sense. Like, it's ill. You know what I mean? So when it was like, all right, he got an album coming out, I said, yeah, I want this. Because if it's more of this on it and what I already know from him, I want this shit bad.
And it was still like a really sparse, again, like coming out of Come Get It. Like it was another really sparse beat. Mm-hmm. It's not a whole lot of bass in it. Maybe like two notes that hit, you know, on like the two or something like that. And I'm just like, yo, this is nigga made you mad, man. Like I couldn't imagine being a producer, like a big time producer back then, and hearing shit like this that continuously comes out. It's almost like you had to bite. It's like, you know, you got it. You ain't gonna beat them. You might as well join them.
Yeah.
Same thing like we talked about with Tim and Missy. It's like you're not gonna beat these guys, man.
So you might as well do a little bit of biting. Go ahead.
Might as well go on, get down with the program, man. Get your competitive drums. All them copycat shit that was going on. Yeah, I understand. I understand. I know he hated it. I know Jay hated it though. Like he hated that.
Yeah, I bet.
Which is why, like, even as a motivator for me, like as a producer and as a musician, as an artist, it's like, you know, I've always said that the best way to tribute Jay is to make my own shit.
Real.
Because that's what he would have liked.
And that's why I remember on our episode, I forgot which episode it was, and I asked you about K Tronada, and I told you I feel like he's so inspired by you, like for real, like your sound and all that. It wasn't no biting, no, y'all. We didn't say that.
Right.
It was just like I was like, and you was like, yo, it's respect there. Like y'all have respect for each other. But when I heard K Shine, the first thing I was like, oh yeah, that's Zoe. I was like, that's Zoe. Like to me, like when I first heard K, I was like, yeah, he gives me so. But again, he's not biting. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just like a whole different. But people then, oh, with Dilla, oh yeah, they were biting. I'm sorry, y'all were biting, and it was noticeable. Like
100%.
Especially if you listen to a lot of the beat tapes from around then, like it's some egregious shit out there.
Oh, it was really
I was
bad.
heavy on the beat tapes though. I was a little backpacker snob.
I ain't mad at it. I love it. I love it.
I was eating beat tapes for lunch.
Yes, and that's something you had the beat tapes, but then the Main Street stuff, you can hear it. You be like, oh, come on, and then nah, I did this beat all about nah, pimping.
No.
Nah.
And the thing is, if you are inspired, just say you're inspired. Like that's
that
not
that part.
Like if I'm inspired, I'll give it up all day. Why not? That's your people. I think a lot of people are inspired by well, I mean, all of us are inspired. We're artists. We grab inspiration wherever we can. But I mean, just give it up. I think a lot of people are inspired by foreign exchange and FE music.
Absolutely.
But I mean, that's how you know it's good.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like if you weren't inspiring don't nobody give a shit. So it's like, if it's good and people are listening, they're going to pick up, and that's cool.
Yeah, I'm having me another drink for that one, Zoe, because I'm glad you said it. Because I damn sure was gonna say
yes. Music is supposed to inspire.
Yeah,
it's supposed to inspire.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Yes. FE is out here inspiring a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of inspiration.
Oh yeah.
I love it though. I love it. I love it though. Because most of the time, folks will give it up. Like they'll shout it out.
Yeah.
They have no problem shouting it out.
I understand why people don't even want to give it up for folks, because
we hear it.
Nothing in this world is created in a fucking vacuum. Not one thing. Ain't shit new.
Yep.
Energy is not created, destroyed. It's just. So why is that a shameful thing? It irks me.
Bad.
Because people think that they're going to be accused of biting.
Yeah. And at least when you just talk about that, it happens in hip hop. It really don't happen a lot in any other genre. That's why people be scared to say,
that somebody wrote this, or somebody else helped me produce this, or so and so sent me this and I just flipped it, but it wasn't my written. Like it's just, that bravado thing, and not wanting, like Josh said, being accused of biting, and it's like, but they do that, but your beat is made from a sample, but you don't want to say somebody wrote your just make it make sense. Whatever your argument is about something, let it have continuity. How about that?
I wanted her to say it, make it make sense so bad, so I'm got
You were poking.
I really was. I was like, when she gonna give it to me? Yo, please. And you did. Thank you. Now I ain't gonna bother you no more. I'm gonna leave you alone.
Blah blah blah. Hip hop community or music community. Then why is that still such a taboo thing?
And look, song is king. Song is king. If you got a ghostwriter, if you got somebody to help you write something, I don't give a shit. Is that song jamming? That's all I care about.
Period.
Song is king.
Do it make me dance? Do it make me think? Do one of those things? That's what I care about.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh God. why I do that to hip hop. But okay, now we can go to my song now. I got a story with the Big Booty Express.
The good craft work.
The craft work.
Craft work.
How dope is that?
Yeah. And he takes these songs and he flips it just, you know, they're so much so that it's like, is it a cover or is it not a cover?
Yes.
He puts his spin so much on it that it's damn near his at that point.
Yeah. Because this song, when I heard it, I was thinking BT Express off the break, right? And I was thinking of Express, the beginning, because of the intro of it all. But then it got into some scary shit to me. I'm sorry. Because then after I was listening to it then, and I mind you, because I got the album. It had to be, and mind you, was night. Because it's taking me back to when I first listened to it. So the part comes in and I'm like, the fuck? The hell? Like, is there somebody watching me kind of Rockwell shit? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, I was like, yo, this song had me like nervous. I'm like looking in my room like, yo, because I had my speakers around, so it's thumping. So I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah, it gets real spooky on that joint, man.
Yeah, yo, I was just like, what the hell is this?
But it's dope to me, like listening to it, and then making the connection between Detroit and techno, and knowing that, you know, Kraftwerk was getting work in Detroit, like they were getting run in Detroit, because that was inspiring a lot of, you know, the Juan Atkins and the Kevin Saunderson and Derek May, you know, the techno originators basically. And you know, Detroit was pushing that music out. Like that was our sound, you know, that electronic sound, you know, and kind of enveloping that with funk and that type of thing, which is why, you know, Prince got a lot of run in Detroit. Like he was heavily accepted in Detroit early on. You know what I mean? So like we were getting a lot of that electronic, that electro sound early 80s, mid 80s, you know, all the way through. So I kind of saw Big Booty Express as kind of almost a nod to that. Like, you know, we were hearing Kraftwerk. We were very familiar with this German group that was getting run in our city. So I kind of saw it as like that kind of a nod, you know, him kind of tipping his cap to the techno part of Detroit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, but this is some scary ass shit. I'm sorry. I had to say, I'm sorry.
With him with the voice. The voice, the creepy.
Yeah, I'm like,
I get
what the hell? Like, I'm like, nah, yo, I'm listening to this song in the daytime, and that's it. That's why it took me back when I was listening to it today. It was just like, nah, son, this
You were scared to cut off the light, bro?
Hell yeah! Like, I have to listen to this. Hell yeah! What the hell? This album came out when I was 16, yes. And I'm like, in my room, like, yo, this is some scary shit, but I don't want to turn it off. But it's hot. Like, I'm like, all right,
big booty exorcism.
Like, yeah,
it was like somebody about to get killed in this bitch.
Hell yeah! That's why I was looking around my room, like. All right, next. Like, but you said that was the nod, so I
yeah, I think it was a techno nod.
Oh yeah. All right, what is it? Is it Brazilian brew?
No.
No. What's the next song after this?
Beach and then part 2.
He's in part 2.
So we got and this joint was kind of crazy because while I was at Slum Village's studio, I ran into Beach one time. So I've actually met Beach. So Beach is the cat that's rapping on the joint. But this joint is dope because the drums are really, really hard and you know, they're just big, powerful drums, and you know, over top of it, and then the bass comes in, and that joint is just rough, and you know, after a while, it starts getting bright. You know what I mean? Which is like, it's just, again, it reminds me of home. Like, it's just like I always say, rugged drums, melodies. You know, it's the rough with the smooth, or the sweet, I guess you could say, the sun rising over pavement type of shit. And this kind of embodies that. I love this joint. You know, it goes really well. You know, out of the horror movie BBE.
Yes, I needed this.
So it's a nice, you know, it's a nice little sunrise.
Yeah.
And again, it leads right into the Brazilian groove, right?
Oh yes, oh my God.
Which, you know, we all know that joint, and the 15 different versions of Brazilian groove that are available now. But again, like, he took it and he did some other shit with it. And Dwele is playing on this one too.
See?
Yeah, he's playing on this one too.
See, I knew Dwele, but not for the right reason. I'm already a
huge Dwele fan, and this has made me a bigger fan.
Right, like for real.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought I was meeting him for singing on the record, finding out that's Dilla, and I really met him through this, but didn't read him for the right reasons. This motherfucker playing instruments on this shit. He ain't singing.
Yep. I think around the time he had did the remix for Bahamadia too, the Philadelphia joint.
So how many times are you gonna do this episode? How many times?
We going in today. We talking about the period. We going in today.
I see. I'm like, what the hell?
8 more times.
Yep, we going in today. That's all I got.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah. Brazilian, I just love what he did with it, and it's just so. And it wasn't like he was following Earth, Wind, and Fire, but then he gave the nod to them by calling it Brazilian groove. You know what I'm saying? But again, because as soon as you hear that body, you could. He like, I got you now. You know what I'm saying? But then he made it his own. And that's what I love about the record.
By taking it and he was kind of mumbling it. Instead of, you know, enunciating the shit, like he was kind of mumbling it, and it was like, yo, it just kind of fit in with the lazy way the drums were moving. So, you know, it
the brilliance that he is, man. That he was like, oh my God. Oh God.
Well, is because the music still exists, so
you're right. Yeah, his music, it will always exist. What? Please, ain't nobody producing like Dilla was. Hell no. When you take
trying to catch up.
Well, he takes a little piece of a song, of another song, and makes it something else.
Mm-hmm.
Who do that? And then be off beat like a mug, but it works.
Yep. Because that's what he did on the next one. On It's Like That. He took.
Now I got a funny story with this one.
Okay.
I got a funny story with this one. So I'm playing it, right? And I never forget, my mom walked in the room because when I play my shit, I got this shit on blast, and it's Friday because I know it's the weekend. So mom cool with it. Because if during the week I couldn't have did this shit. So she walks in, and I remember her bringing my clothes in, and she was like, "Oh, that's Papa was a Rolling Stone," and then walked the fuck out. And then walked the fuck out. She was like, "That was Papa was a Rolling Stone." I was like, "Ma, you don't even know who this is."
Yep. No matter. I know that. Like, I know them stabs.
Yeah, she was like, "I know that," and she walked out, and that was it. Like, she closed my door, like I'm sitting in there rocking, like, because this is my first time listening to it. So she's in there, and then she walks in my room, was like, "Oh yeah, that's Temptations. Papa was a Rolling Stone." And I kind of looked at her like, "How?" And then she just walked out and said, "All right, talk to you later."
Yep. Yeah, it was, you know, the stuff that he was doing like that. Pete Rock did something with that song too for for Mary's Family Affair remix.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing that one day. I was in the studio with my man John Doe in Atlanta, and I think this had to been 2001.
Yeah.
I remember we played that, and I was like, that sounds familiar. I was like, play it again. And then it got to the end, and he kind of let it ride out a little bit with the horns.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, turn it off. And we turned the studio off, and we went upstairs. We started again tomorrow. I was like, man, Pete Rock made us quit that day. So to hear like what he did for that, and then what Jay did with that for, It's Like That. And this was the first time I had heard Big Tone and Lax. So Big Tone, aka Hodgepodge, is what he was called on here.
Okay.
Lax, aka Tarak. Shout out to both of them, because I ended up working with Big Tone later, and I actually talked to Big Tone a couple years ago. He's good, and met Lax. Actually, the first time I met Wajid, Lax was with him, and so I'm like, I didn't get back into the Detroit hip hop scene until I was back home in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I was slowly starting to kind of move around and, meeting cats. And in 2003 was when I started meeting everybody, because that's when I got into Barack Studios, which is where Slum recorded. And that's when I just started meeting everybody. And Big Tone always been a solid dude. Lax also, I think Lax is still in LA, I believe. But they were perfect. They were perfect for this joint, because again, it's Detroit niggas talking shit over a beat. Like, I love that shit, man. That shit gets me hyped. That shit gets me hyped up, man.
So all of these dudes that were spitting on it was from Detroit.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. So Welcome to Detroit is like, it's very sincere.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm learning, y'all, with these people that was on it, but I got it open, at least. Don't come for my neck, please. I got it open.
Oh, I already got my shit off.
I'm up here about to. Do I need to check the chat? Oh, okay, the chat.
Man, what? Yes, no, like I got it up. I'm like, please don't kill me, yo. I got it up.
I so understand Zoe's enthusiasm, because it's the same way I would feel if somebody brought me on the show to talk about Little Brother and Justice League and all that. I would be like, crazy. Like,
yeah.
I could tell you every little thing and every mixtape.
Yeah, like that's your peoples. That's your peoples. And when your peoples be talking, people be talking that shit, you like, yeah, you right there with them.
That's what we knew.
Don't get it.
That's why me and Elise was like, yeah, this is gonna be Zoe's episode.
Like, this nigga gonna blow up, literally. Like,
yeah, like, this is gonna be a wrap, yo. Like, we're the featured guests today. Oh God, but I get it. That's why I love the enthusiasm that you got for it. That's why you like, nah, we going in today.
Absolutely. We absolutely going in. And I love the fact on It's Like That after they were finished rhyming, Jay to put a filter on the joint.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And kind of turn it into you know what I mean? It was like a breakdown without it having to be a change.
Yeah.
And they kind of slowly brought it back in.
Who do that though?
Get the fuck out of here, dog.
Because as soon as something about to change, it is. Yeah. But he's just so smooth with it. And it's like it goes up so quick, like you can barely notice.
And then it goes into the interlude of the beat that Lax and Big Tone recorded on originally. So the beat after the joint, It's Like That, is what they recorded on originally. He changed it and put it up, put the new joint up under them.
What the fuck? I'm sorry, like, I'm in class today. I'm loving this shit. Like,
Yeah, or like a version of that interlude. That a version of that interlude was what they recorded on originally, and then he switched it up, switched the beat.
And did they know this?
I'm not sure. I'm not clear on that, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Because you was like, yeah, he'll flip it up on you and you won't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, man.
Pause for 1 second. I need to grab my charger.
Okay. Damn it, man. So you fucking me up, yo. I swear.
All these stories, man. I'm sitting there like as I'm walking today and listening to the album, like I'm replaying all these stories from like Nick Speed and Elzai and House Shoes and Wajid, and I'm just like, man, I hope I remember all this shit, man, because it's 21 years of stories.
But you in the moment when you in it, you could talk about it. That's why I was just like Elise said, man, we could be talking about another album that I love to death, and I would be just like you, like this who wrote it, and this what it is, this what it is. That's why, I mean, we haven't talked about the album, and Elise said nobody can come on here and talk about that album. So unfortunately, y'all never see it.
Which one? Which album?
Mary.
Oh, y'all can't do it?
No, Elise said no.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think there's anything else left to say.
Right. And I get it.
That's all.
Got you. That makes sense.
I love it.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah. Because I'll be like, so I know every piece. I know everything. But we did that for the Velvet Rope, and we haven't. She said we can't talk about what's going on either, because I think everybody and their mama done talked about that joint. So she was like, we need to talk about shit that people don't talk about.
Have y'all talked about I Want You yet?
No.
Let's
we talked about Here My Dear.
And somebody talked about I Want You for Catch That Mini. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, not the album.
I was gonna say I'll go on with the album with you, because that's my favorite Marvin joint.
Word. Mm. Oh boy. Oh boy.
That album is ugly.
Right.
Yeah, we can take it from there. Okay. Shit, we good.
Okay. Yeah, we good now.
Okay. All right. Where was we at? Was it It's Like That, or were we done past that?
Yep. Give It Up. We can do Give It Up.
Don't this just feel like church to y'all?
Because of the organ?
Yes.
Yeah.
It just felt like straight church when I heard it. I was like,
the organ and yeah.
He could have had like Erica on the joint if he wanted to. Like, let Erica like go to church on this joint right quick. Like
this joint is
that's one of my favorites on the album.
Give It Up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this joint, it kind of reminds me of like a precursor to Rough Draft. Because it's the whole premises of Rough Draft was him doing straight to cassette shit, as he put it. You know what I mean? So it's like with this joint, and I think he even said in the liner notes, he was like, I took everything sample for this is like it's a really common sample. And when I was reading that in the beginning, I was like, okay, let me try to pick out what everything is. The drums we already know off top. That's Joe Tex.
Yes.
And then when I finally figured out the rest of it, because you can figure out the rest of it because of the piano.
Yeah.
So we all know what that is.
The Ohio players.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah. And so like just hearing how he just restructured the Joe Tex drums and then chopped up the Ohio, I was like, come on, man. And it's so start and stop and jerky, and again, it's just he talking shit, man. He talking shit. Like this was Rough Draft before Rough Draft to me.
He was on his shit talking with this record. Like, I'm the shit and I know it. That's what I got from this.
Very much I like it so much.
Yes.
Of course you would.
Yes. Very much so.
Of course you would. Of course you would. This joint, hey, he's like, I'm taking y'all to church on this one, but I'm gonna talk my shit on it. That's what that was. That joint was ill. That joint was so ill. That, and again, when I heard, what is it, Pride and Vanity, isn't it? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Pride and Vanity. Yes. And my uncle is a big Ohio Players fan, and that's his favorite record. So when I heard it, I said, "Oh, I know what that is." You know what I mean? But then a couple of times I had to hear the Joe Tex because I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that at first, though. I did not catch it. And then after, I think about 2 years, I was like, "What? There's another sample in this joint? Wait a minute." And I was like, "Oh, shit, that's Joe Tex." And that's why the video, I got to put that clip up because my mom, we was in the video singing, she was singing Joe Tex, right? And then she was like, and I started kind of singing it after her. She was like, "This nigga want to act like he know Joe Tex. He don't know this dude." Like, she like, "You don't know this dude." So that's why she was making me mad in the video because I was like, "Ma, you don't remember when she don't know who Dilla is, but I was like, you remember when this record, and I asked you, was this Joe Tex? And you said, yeah. So how you gonna play me and act like I don't know who the hell Joe Tex is?"
Y'all too hilarious, man.
Who me and my, listen.
They are.
At least no.
You should listen to them talking on speakerphone, and it is the craziest shit ever. They funny, yo.
Oh God, because sometimes she be forgetting it because now with the whole sample thing, because like I told you, my mom good with it. Now she like, "I'm too old. I'm good with it now." Like, but then like if we hear something and she be like, "Oh yeah, that's that." I'll be like, "Well, I thought you was done." She was like, "I'll never be done."
I'm about to say,
And then she'll always be like, "Yeah, you always be the student in my class."
I ain't mad at it.
I was like, "Damn." Yo, that's why when Elise be hearing our conversations, I'll be like, I'll get off. I'll be like, "I'm sorry, Elise, you had to hear this. I'm sorry."
I'm like, "Thank you. That was entertainment. I don't need to watch TV today."
Musical abuse.
Man, what? Oh my God. But yes, yo, Give It Up is the record. That's another favorite of mine too. Because it's so churchy, and that's what I like. And then it makes me think about me and my uncle because he loves the Ohio Players, and that's how I got on because of him. So when I heard this, I was like, all right, you know what I mean? I was like, "Uncle B, listen to this joint." And he like, hey. He's like, "Who this? Who this?" And I had to make, y'all, back then, we had to make this mix CDs. I put this on, give it up for him. So, you know what I'm saying? So after putting on about 1,000 Ohio Players, and then I throw this at the end, he was like, "Put this at the end for me." Got you. And so that brings back memories of that. So I love this record. Love it.
And you go from this dirty ass record to the Bossa Nova record.
Son, what? Some man made me do the men.
Oh boy, man! Let me tell you something. If you take Rico Suave Bossa Nova and play that shit live at a spot in Detroit, like niggas will go crazy, man.
Really?
Doom, 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 doom. You start playing that, man, must lose their mind, dog.
Really?
And it's so simple. And that's Jay on piano. So that's just him just playing, and Kareem is on drums, and you know, him and Frank and Dank, and they just in the spot drunk and singing. Da 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 da. Like, nigga, that's it. That's it. What better time to have with your friends?
At least you know we do that on the normal. When you
I just seen y'all video. I just come.
Listen, so
was it Brownstone y'all was singing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the one we put up before we were going to your show. I forgot what it was. At least what was we singing?
No, we were singing "Faith Ain't Nobody" in the car.
Yeah. We were headed to those shows.
That's right.
We were headed to your show.
Yeah. And we was headed to your show, and then we did the episode. Like, it's crazy.
That's right. I remember. I do remember that. Yeah, man. Ain't nothing better than getting drunk with your friends and
listen.
off key shit.
Connecting them dots.
Yep.
Oh God.
Man.
Oh my God. Yeah. This joint was on some like I was like, all right, let me do the washing machine right quick to this joint. You know what I'm saying?
And then at the end, they kept them drums. They kept them drums bare. So I've worked with those drums before.
I ain't know those.
I've worked with those drums before, and the drums at the end of Brazilian
Brazilian groove.
Brazilian groove. Those are open too, if I remember right. I think it's that one. It's one of them.
And you use it?
I don't think it's been on anything that's been released, but back in.
Oh yeah, you did just say that. You was like, yeah.
Back between like 01 and 03. Oh yeah. I was yeah. Them Joe Tex drums too. I abused those back then.
Oh yeah. You know what? A lot of people have too.
I abused those back then.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Featuring Fat Cat, the B-side of Pause. First of all, I want to say this and shout out to Fat Cat. Fat Cat is my guy. Fat Cat has got one of my favorite voices in hip hop. Like he's one of my favorite voices in hip hop. Like I love his vocal tone, and like it's really grimy, it's real gritty, and it fit perfectly over this joint. And again, like it was another joint where it's just kind of sparse, and he just kind of let him go. And I like on the hook how it was very DJ Premier.
Yes, with the scratches.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Very primo.
Yes. That was two of the first things that I did when I first noticed this record. I said them scratches gave me primo, and I already knew the sample because my family already knew Rufus. So I already knew that already. But that scratching, I was like, oh, that's Premier. That's some Premier scratching right there. Oh yeah.
100%. And they did that too in the 12-inch. They had Jay had already did a 12-inch with him at this point with Dedication to the Suckers, Don't Nobody Care About Us, which is like a Detroit staple, and Microphone Master. I think that's the third one. If I'm wrong, don't quote me. But they did kind of the same thing on Dedication to the Suckers too, where it was just scratching for the hooks. So it kind of returned to that. But yeah, that was definitely a primo stamp.
Yeah.
On that joint. And Fat Cat just went in and he took niggas to school on this joint. I love this record. Before the album came out, and it was just Pause, and at that time it was called Track, featuring Fat Cat, or just featuring Fat Cat. Like I ran Pause and featuring Fat Cat into the ground until the album actually came out. And I think we talked about it before. Like I think it was LimeWire time or Napster.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's where I got Pause. That's where I got it. That's where I ran it from there. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh
so
yeah.
Found it and then bought it.
Yeah, but it's so interesting about those LimeWire times. I sit down a bunch of shit, but the stuff that I like, I still went and bought.
Yes. Yep.
That part. Yep.
I'm also use that to make my little mix CDs. Oh, Jay, I've been making playlists a long time. Like I made my little mix CDs, and yeah, like I'm more so used it for that, so I can have the individual MP4s and stuff. MP3s.
Because at that time,
bought the stuff that I like.
Yeah, absolutely. And plus, at that time, I was like, I don't know if I download this shit to my computer if it's going to be good, or if it's like, is it going to shut my computer down? Is it going to have a virus? Like, it was still that kind of concern. And LimeWire did fuck up my first Mac. So
absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, my mom was pissed. Oh.
Yep.
Oh yeah, mom was pissed that she had to buy a whole new computer because LimeWire fucked our shit.
That shit tore that shit up, man.
Napster
was cool, but LimeWire did a number on my joint, man.
Oh yeah. After that, I was like,
downloading all them torrents and shit. Yeah, that shit tear my computer up.
Yep. And a lot of them joints was like terrible quality too. So I mean, the shit that you like, you almost had to get it because it was like, yo, this shit is in like 60.
Sometimes there would be radio rips and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
It was a lot of
God,
trash.
yes.
You had to filter through a lot of trash on Napster and LimeWire to get what you wanted. But I will admit when Napster came out, I did searches on my favorite producers and made sure that I got all the versions of their remix. All the shit that I've been dreaming about for the last 5 years. And oh shit, Proceed too. Okay. Oh yeah, all right. JD remix. Need that. I was getting all that shit, man. I can't even lie. I can't even lie. But like you said, at least like I was buying it. I was buying it.
And we was buying it when albums were not cheap.
Right.
They
when
were not cheap. It wasn't 15, the first 16, week you 17. Get them for $10 type of shit. No. You've been CDs for like $16 to $20. Like, so like LimeWire was just like, all right, this is for the moment, but I got to go get this joint. Like for real, for real. So yes. That's
I was sending all my college money to sandboxautomatic.com in New York, hip hop site, which I think was in Vegas. It was another one. Was it Underground Hip Hop, UGHH.com? Like I was buying my stuff from that. Like I would just go on Sandbox and look, okay, yep, pause, yep, add that. Like, I don't even think I had a credit card. I think at one point I was like using my roommate's credit card and then paying him back in cash. Like anything to get this shit, man.
Just shows how much we would do for music. I'm telling you.
Being a consumer in 98, 99, and 2000.
Listen.
Yeah, I was kind of lucky because my stepsister, she worked at Camelot in the mall. So she had to get a discount or she would get like promo stuff. But that was a little leg up for a little while when she worked there.
Lucky.
That's when we was in high school. But.
I'd have looked at her like Columbia House.
Man, what? 12 for one, 12 CDs for a penny.
And you know what?
I was doing that.
Yeah.
As well. I had lots of names. And yeah.
I didn't do Columbia House because I always thought there was gonna be something else. I was like, how you gonna put a penny on this bitch? Tape the penny, send it in, and you send me 12. Nigga, you gonna ask me for some more money. So I was like, man, let me just go to Harmony House or Music Land and get my shit together.
But then after it hit about 2001, it was a lot of stores that was selling used CDs.
So yes.
For way cheaper.
Yep. In Bowling Green and Nashville, I was hitting up a spot called Pack Rats, and Pack Rats had vinyl, they had CDs, they even had comic books, if I remember right.
They doing that now. One
was like, it was feet from my apartment, which was a horrible move. So I would just go in there. I may well just go on there, just gave him $100 bill, like I'll be back in about an hour, and then just come back. Come back with my shit and just walk out.
So lucky. Y'all so lucky because my joint it was like maybe 15 minutes away from the house.
Damn.
That's when my record store, like we had it was called Sound Express, and it was downtown. So that's when we were. But man, when they built a Circuit City and a Best Buy right by my house.
Right. I was
like, Mom, I don't need you no more. I'm going across the street.
Yep. That Best Buy used to get hit up tough. Best Buy, Circuit City, and Media Play used to get hit up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got all my money, my little man, and that's when I started working too. I would always stay broke.
I'm so glad I had no credit card back then because I probably wouldn't be living.
So I ended up, see you bringing up another freaking memory. I ended up getting one, right? And my mother was like, don't be stupid with it. I was like, oh, nah, I'm going to be good. Man, my limit was like $1,000, y'all.
2 days.
Done. After a week.
Yeah.
I was done. So my mother was like, so where's your credit card? I was like, oh, it's in the room. Okay. I was like, I ain't got no more money. She was like, where did it go to? This. She was like, give it.
Yeah.
Chip. She cut it. And I had to pay it back. She paid it, but then I had to pay her. Like, it was like, yeah. She was like, you don't need no damn credit card. And now we have Apple Music and shit. And now I got Lady E first.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Good old times.
There was some times, man. There was
good
some for real
times.
times.
Yes.
There was some for real times.
Yes.
Oh shit. Yeah, I think this is my favorite.
This is a bop, yo.
I think because I was trying to figure it out. I was like, is it Think Twice or is it Shake It Down? But Shake It Down, it's so different from everything.
Okay.
It's so different. Like the beat drop, like it has that funk in it where it's like, when that one hits, what I mean, everything just, it's almost like you fall, you kind of like fall into the one, like on, your head now, you fall in a little bit more, like it's like James Brown. Everything is emphasized on the one, and Shake It Down is just like that. Like it adds that extra neck, the extra neck part, you know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Yep. And again, he talking shit, but this time he talking shit to the ladies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love this. I love this record. Everybody from the crib who was a woman, like at that point, like they really loved this record. I don't know, man. This joint is kind of flawless to me. Shake It Down is my favorite record from Welcome to Detroit.
Wow. I wouldn't even know that was your favorite though.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Like I would have thought, for me, I would have thought Brazilian Groove was, but that's just, I guess, the R&B in me. That's why I'm like, oh, that could be, but this joint is a bop. Like it is a bop. It got that extra neck, like you said.
It got the extra neck, man. The extra neck nod. You got to put the shoulders in it too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Like this was one I used to run this on repeat a lot, a whole lot, and I would again. This was another one that I would study. Study the movement, and why does it make your neck snap like this? Why does it give you goosebumps? Like this was one of them joints where I was kind of trying to figure out the whys, and then taking that and like, when I make music, I want people's necks to snap like that. And
and it does.
And, I want people to get goosebumps off my shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I want it's a feeling that you have to capture, that you have to recognize, number one, but then you have to capture it and then, try to implement it in your own stuff. And this one here was a big influence on me as far as that goes. Like studying that feeling. This, like Climax, Aphrodisiac by Common, like that joint, them joints that he did. I was like, why do I feel like this listening to this music, and how can I take this feeling and create it with my own music? How can I do that? And it's like, if it doesn't do that, then I won't release it. You know what I mean? Like it's really tough. Like, and that's kind of like why when a lot of Jay's unreleased stuff was getting put out, and I wasn't really buying that, because I was like, I don't think he would really want me to hear this or purchase it, because I know like there's a lot of shit in this computer right here that has not seen the light of day for a reason. So but yeah, just kind of just really honing in and studying that feeling and that movement, and then taking it and retransmitting it into my own shit was very much an influence.
Wow. So because I tell you're one of my favorite producers, so to hear that this song like literally made you the person that you is. It's kind of like, that's why I'm just like staring like, damn, like what a song can do and what it built and what you have built just from hearing this, and you wanted your shit to sound like this and give you that knock and just to have that. It's just like, damn.
Yeah. And that's why I said, like in the beginning, like it's tough to listen to a song like Shake It Down or listen to a Climax and be like, I want my feeling to sound like that, but not have your music sound like that. Like it's tough as a young producer not to do that.
Right.
Because I mean, like I said, it's natural. And I tell, even cats that ask me now, like, what advice would you give to young producers? And it's like, just keep producing, keep creating, because at some point you're gonna stop sounding like your idols and you're gonna start sounding like yourself.
That's what they tell you in every craft. They're like, how to become a great writer? Keep writing. Like,
keep writing. It's really not rocket science.
And reading. It's the same with music. Keep making it, but keep listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's tough. And you saying that knocks off 85% of the people right there.
That part.
Very easy, very simple. And I was just telling somebody the other day who was talking about, the whole R&B is dead bullshit. And I'm just like, they're not listening. Nobody, let me know that you're not listening to music by telling me that a whole genre is dead.
Oh, you saw when I went off though. Man, that pissed me off because it's like you said, you're not listening. You're not listening. It's out there. Like you just so far removed. That's what that is, and you just not honing into this. Like
it's 3 people on this joint right now who are having a hard time keeping up with all the crazy shit that's coming out right now. It's too much.
It's too much. Too much. Sometimes like me and Elise be like, damn, it's been like, yo, because y'all know at one time you live with an album. Like you live with one. Now you be like, you got this album. God damn it, another one?
Yeah.
Damn, another one?
Yeah.
And that's why me and Elise, because we doing something and then we creating with the show. And we was like, we gonna wait till album sit for about a good 3 months, and then we're gonna talk about
it. Yes, absolutely. I'm like, man, when big albums come out, like I stay offline because I'm like, man, I don't want to hear these hot takes off an album that's been out for a half hour. Get the fuck out of here.
Go ahead, yo. Elise, you remember
so it's hilarious. So like the latest big release, of course, was Beyonce, and like everybody's like, it has me in a chokehold, and the fact that it's a big deal that after 2 months that people are still listening to an album, that's kind of sad. Because do you know how long we sat with albums and was still playing them? And before we moved on to the next thing, a long time. Yeah. So it's funny that's such a huge deal because people, like you said, 24 hours and then they on to the next. Mm-hmm. So it's so shocking that something was in the consciousness for 2 months. Like that's kind of a sad state of affairs.
You remember, Elise, when the Silk Sonic record came out, and you remember we was getting so many hits, like, yo, this is some classic shit here. And me and Elise was like, huh? It only been out for 1 day. Like,
how you know that?
And me and Elise was like, we're staying offline with this mess. And we stayed offline for the weekend because we were getting so many DMs and getting so many hits about it. And it was like, come on, y'all, let us live with the album, please. Yeah. Like, y'all calling this shit, doing reviews that this shit is classic already. And I'll be over it.
It really fits how we live, where everything is instant and right at your fingertips and right now and all of that stuff. And it's like, yo, that's great when you have those resources and stuff, but this shit is still being made organically. We're still putting our heart and soul in it. We're still having to, raise a family and, do all this regular shit while also making art. It's like, yo, I wish to God, like you would take the time that we did to craft it, to listen to it.
Because I'm still
it's worth your time. And that's one reason why, I'm very purposeful in touring an album as long as I do, because of that. And, it's one of the only ways that you can kind of give your album legs today. Because, the album shelf life right now, like you said, is a weekend or a couple nights. Because, you know, the same night we dropped, you know, 4 other albums have dropped also that shit that I want to listen to too. So it's like, you know, we try to keep this thing, you know, out front and center as long as we can on the road and in person and things like that, because we know that it's not going to be lived with.
And we so glad with that too. With speaking of your joint, like me and Elise, we still putting people on the love fields with "Be My Fiasco." Still, people be like,
I'm so obsessed with that song. You know what I love? You know what I love the most about that song?
yeah,
That it don't have verses. It's just one long bridge and chorus. Because that's my favorite part of the song.
Man.
And it took me a while to even realize it. I was like, it's just one long bridge. And I love it. That's what I love about it.
And I like it because like there's nothing else in our catalog that sounds like it. Like it's just stands on its own.
Is it? Oh God, when we was headed to the Roots picnic and Elise played it in the car with people that didn't hear it. And then now we still getting text. I'm still getting text, Elise. And somebody was like, yo, this love feels still hits. We was like, well, good. Say that.
That's what's up, man.
We got the most magical Uber. We got the most magical Uber that let me put my music on.
Oh, word.
Oh, yeah, they fucked up that day.
And we was, oh, man. And it was like a 45-minute ride, 45-minute ride. So it got the run.
OFE was all through the car that day.
That's what's up, man. I love it.
Yeah, because there was a lot of them that didn't know. And I'm looking at me and Elise rocking in the car. And they like, who is this? Who is this? Like me and Elise, every time we get together, y'all don't see us doing this rocking like
man, yeah. I love hearing that and hearing stories like that. And you know, I always tell people, you know, don't pardon yourself for being late, because it's like, you know, it's a lot of our music is a slow burn. So if you late, you right on time, man. Like when
y'all shit never expires. I'm sorry.
Ain't nothing worse than we been on that nigga. That's the worst kind of nigga. Nah. How about you be like, oh yo, that's so yo, he did this, he worked. Like, do that, not you paid. Fuck you. You know?
Don't keep us to yourself.
Oh, we did that with what you call it. We did, right, Elise? We did that with Neltron with Zoe stuff. And so he went on freaking iTunes and brought all your catalog.
That's what's up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That thing is a student. You hear me? Like, he was like, yo, who is this? And man, and then he giving us a text every day. Yo, that song is hot. Like,
but that's how it's supposed to work. Like we love that, and word of mouth, and you know, all of that. Like that's one of our greatest assets is that, you know what I mean? And you know, I really encourage, I was starting to encourage people before COVID hit to, you know, have listening parties with your friends. You know, when the album comes out, have some folks over like they do with book clubs. Like have them come through. You know, you run about 4 or 5 records. You talk about them, what you like, you know, what you dislike, you know, whatever.
That might be an idea. You're right. At least you see what I'm saying? Like, that might be an idea.
I'm just sampling your idea.
You're right. We're
not do it. Yeah, do it.
Paying homage.
Yeah, we're not fighting, cool, though.
Yeah, that's a way. Like, what better way to connect with your friends than through some goddamn music?
That part.
Music at that.
Yeah.
Since R&B is dead, shit.
Yeah.
That part. Ooh, baby.
R&B dead.
All right, so we got African rhythms.
African rhythms. Crazy.
Nuts.
Like the original is already crazy. The one that's a Juju joint is already crazy.
Right.
And then again, you know, he took it, put his own spin on it.
And it got the same damn feel. That's what I like. Like, again, when you trying to do something on your own and you creating it, if it got the same feel, but it's yours, and that's what he did with African rhythms.
Got one. You got
one. He did, because it was like the feeling is still there. And I was like, sometimes people can actually take the feeling out of it. You know what I mean? I'm sorry to say, like Motown used to do, love you, love, that's my favorite label ever. But y'all know Barry would take the soul out of a record, like yank, like this ain't mainstream. Sorry, like, even though I love Motown, sorry, but he did. So it was when he did this, I was like, yo, the original is ill, ill. And then for this, I was like, yes, it got that same feeling, but it's still Dilla's. It's his. That's it. Like, I thought y'all was gonna be like, oh, all right, it's cool. You know what I mean? But
nah, this is shit. This is shit. This is shit. And again, you know, it shows how far he stretches with his musical knowledge and his taste, and also you know, with him tipping his cap to somebody, and it shows his respect for, you know, the folks that came before him. With the, you know, the care that he puts in
that's
in type of records.
That's the word, care. That's exactly what it is. The care.
Yep.
I heard. Hopefully, y'all heard that. The people watching care.
Nah, it's a certain type of care that you have to put into doing a cover, or you know, that, you know, so it's still very much yours, but it's still like, yo, you know, I understand where this is coming from, and you know, like Elise said earlier, like why I'm doing it.
Yes, absolutely. And our last joint, can I just say that I think Dilla loves the Ohio players?
Oh yeah,
totally.
He sampled my favorite. He sampled my favorite Ohio player song.
Then listen,
boy.
Dang,
come on, man.
Junie,
again, rest in peace. Junie's another fucking monster and genius.
Yes.
My God, what?
I was like, does Dilla love the Ohio players? Really? Like, I was just like,
yeah, he got him in. I think he got 3 Ohio play. He got this one. He got to Give It Up.
But what's so crazy? He got a small part in it though. How the fuck did he do that? Like, I was just like, this little ass part, and then he made it the whole damn record. Like, I was just like, really? I was just sitting there like,
yeah. He listened different.
He's different. He's different, yo.
He listens different. Premier listens different. He listens different. Pete Rock listens different. Like, they have a different ear. That's just like, you know, you hear the Primo J Rue joint. What is the name? I cannot think of it. It's escaping me right now. But I mean, it's at the tail end of this 7-minute like Crusader song, and it's like that. It's not even a bar. It's just and that's, you know, basically the whole. And it's like, yo, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? How did you hear that? And how did you pinpoint that piece to take? Like, yo, come on, man. Even like what he did with Mass Appeal, like the same thing. It's one bar, and it's in the beginning. It's in the middle of a solo. And he just took that one bar, and that's like one of the biggest Gangstar songs, period. And he made it making fun of elevator music.
When I heard that, at first I didn't believe it, and then who else did I hear? I think it might have been the Apartment 5B crew that said it, that I heard it, and I was like, y'all bugging for real? And they was like, he was making fun of elevator music, y'all.
That shit hard as nails.
What? That's my favorite freaking record.
Yeah, one of my favorite beats in hip hop.
Period. That's because it's so New York, yo. It's so New York, yo. Like, I can hear that joint, like driving and coming out of the Holland Tunnel, hearing that shit, yo. Like, that's
yeah, he was the king of making records that made me feel like I was in New York before I had ever been to New York. Just like Quick does the same thing for me with LA. Like, he makes records that sounds like LA, and I had never even been to LA, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in LA right now.
And when I finally went to LA, I was like, yeah, that is what they're like.
Yep, it made so much sense. when you finally go,
Yeah.
boy, to a quick record, you like, oh yeah, yep, I get it.
That's why I say now that a lot of this album and yours makes sense. Now that I done been, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
That's why when I
Everything
know I'm
happened.
going, because I'm trying to go to Michigan before the year ends. And I
You
was like,
better
I
go
know
now.
what I'm playing.
You better go now before it gets
You
super
better
cold.
believe it. You better believe it. Because I went maybe the third time I went in February. Baby,
Boy.
I was like,
Oh, you tripping.
yeah. I was like, what the? Never again. Never.
You better go in June, July.
Man, what? I did last year. I went in July and I went in August.
There you go.
Nice, cool. But I was letting my brother know. I was like, yo, I'm gonna be out there. He like, you better think about this.
If you go in the fall, you gotta go to find your apple orchard.
Okay. I'm gonna tell Sin that. You're gonna be like, all right.
Yep, find your apple orchard and go apple picking and get some cider and them fire ass donuts. Good God. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna be like, now you gotta take me because Zoe said you have to.
Yeah,
So
hit up apple orchard.
Okay, I'm on it. All right. So as a whole, Zoe, I know you explained it, but basically, what did this album really do for you as a complete whole and everything?
It just let me know that you can go wherever you need to go musically, within the same project or within your career, period. Because it really opened my eyes to the fact that Jay is not only a producer, he's a musician. And as a musician and producer myself, I'm like, oh, well, I can remove these labels and remove whatever box that I'm trying to put myself in, because when I started off, I wanted to be a hip-hop producer. I wanted to make beats, and that's what I was doing. I was making beat CDs and handing them out, and the whole thing. But this really let me know that like you can make whatever you want at whatever time you want. You're not signed to anybody. This is whatever's in your mind, you can take it and put it on in a recording and you're good. So I think that's how Welcome to Detroit like really had a heavy influence on me. Also, with a lot of his collaborations, it let me know, it's like, oh shit, you can this is how you do a producer's album. I think that kind of showed me a bit of a blueprint there to come, for work to come, starting with like Just Visiting 2 and Sunstorm, where I was starting to work with a lot of other different artists and put them all on the same record.
Don't do it, Sunstorm. Don't you dare, Zone. Don't you dare. Because me and Elise go in on that album, man. I'm telling you, yo, like, y'all, man, me and her get together, my whole area know it must be Elise's here because we foreign exchange Zoe out, yo. Like,
yeah, it's just, well, first off, as people watch the show know, I just love a groove, and it's so many good grooves. That's just where I want to be. I don't want to be too up, and I don't want to be too down. I want to. That's 90% of the time. That's where I want to be.
Yeah.
So,
grooving and feeling good.
That's why that thing always got to play freaking Flight of the Blackbird. I'll be like, Elise, can we hear something else? I love it too.
I play that shit at the bar. Listen, I play all my music. I played at the bar, and they love it. And they come in with, if they come in with somebody else working and some bullshit, and they happen to see me, they're like, "Oh, you ain't on the music today." Like,
oh shit.
I be trying to expose them to some different stuff that to show the other shit can rock and groove. They don't have to listen to the same pop thing. It has its place, but I want to hear the same. Shit.
Are you going to be working there the day before our Durham show? Because if you are, we pulling up.
I can make that. No, I won't. I'm sure. No, I'll be working that Friday before.
Oh shit, we in Charlotte that day.
I have a photo. I do photography, and I have a shoot the evening before the show.
Got you. Okay. Okay. I was about to say, if you working that Saturday before the show, we pulling up that night.
I mean, I could pull up too now after my gig now.
Okay. Well, shit, we just had to let it be known then.
Okay. Yeah.
JR coming, right? You coming through?
He is, as Dill would say, we working on it.
Yep. You might want to be at that one, JR. I'm just putting it out there. I'm putting it out there. We'll be at that one.
Oh.
If those y'all in Charlotte, you might want to be at that one too. So
you not, man.
We ain't playing around. If you in Cleveland on October 8th, you might want to be at that one too.
Oh God.
We just locked in February 19th in DC. You might want to be at that one too.
Yo, you not. Lord
Them
have
DC
mercy.
shows, yo.
We ain't playing with y'all.
I see.
DC shows is a whole nother creature.
Yes. You ain't sitting down. I'm sorry. At y'all concert, you're not sitting down at all.
I think the first time I met Zoe in person was at a DC show.
Really? Which one was it?
At what was it? Live? Was that the name of the?
Oh shit, yeah. Was that the man-made one?
Oh man. I'd have been to so many. Oh.
I'm trying to remember because I remember seeing you at the Raleigh show we did for Man-Made.
Yeah, this would have been before time. This would have been what?
Damn.
I can't remember. I'm trying to remember who I was with, and that probably I don't know.
I don't remember. What you know? What was it? Was it the joint that Fonte was at?
Yeah.
Where we had the curls?
Yes.
Yep. That's that was the Soul Bounce joint, wasn't it? Was
okay, yeah.
Or was that Axel F?
It was Axel F.
There
I was
we
with
go.
Kashawn. Yeah.
There we go. That shit was fun, man. We was doing we was doing all types of shit at that joint. We was doing all types of shit at that joint. Shout out to the stylist and Kat for putting that one on. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, we was doing like shoot 'em up movies. It was all 80 shit.
Yep.
All 80 shit. We did shoot 'em up movies. We was doing
Young
Love by Janet. We did that one with Nia Posey. I think we did Lover Girl.
What?
Yeah, that joint was fun as hell. And I had the gold chain with the Adidas tracksuit. We went in that night. That shit was fun as hell.
Oh man. Damn,
I almost forgot about that joint. That shit was fun.
So now we're at my favorite part of the show.
All right.
And today's word association. Oh, and JR didn't act up today. Thank you.
No, I didn't say it. No. You already done got me nervous. I'm good.
Oh, whatever. And today I'm going to name songs with Dilla on production that were more mainstream songs.
Okay.
Some are hip hop, some are R&B. All right. I want to start with. Let's start with the Far Side. Running. Just first word, feeling, emotion, whatever you feel about it.
First, the first, I guess, couple of words I can think of is drum pattern for running. And I didn't notice this until my drum, shout out to Tate McBroom from Gorilla Funk Mob, who I used to play with in Michigan. We were doing what were we doing? I'm trying to remember, but we had to learn running. And he was like, if you listen to it, he was like, the drum pattern changes. He doesn't do the same kick pattern through the whole fucking song. And I was like, nah. Played it, and sure enough, through the whole song, you listen to the kick pattern, it's totally different each bar. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Which means he sat there on the MP and played that shit out for the entire 4 to 5 minutes of running, which is fucking stupid. It's already a crazy ass song. The sample is ridiculous. The original is incredible. You know, Far Side was floating on the joint.
Yeah.
And I think that was around the time when I first discovered Jay. My boy had told me about him, and he was like, yo, man, he was like, this dude is producing for Far Side and Daylight. And he was like, and he from here, he from the crib. I was like, word? And so anytime I would see Jay Yancey or FC productions or publications or publishing, I'll be like, I know I'm in the right place. And so I went back into my Far Side joint and saw all the songs that I liked had Jay Yancey on it. I was like, here we go. Now we in for the ride.
Yeah.
So running low key reminds me of so I guess I'll just say inauguration. Like that was my first real taste of JD production.
All right. We have Bilal featuring Most Def and Common, Reminisce.
Oh, you patty for that.
I'm gonna tell you a secret
right.
after we finish.
For this one, the word is baseline.
Listen, Zoe.
And it's one of like I can play it on bass and love playing it on bass because it's one of those bass grooves that's like really it's slippery. But then when I heard later like what he was sampling for the joints and like how it was like 3 or 4 different samples, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like it was another one of them like, yo, man, come on, man. Like when I found out, you know, what he sampled for Players. Not the vocal sample, the drum sample. I was like, I'll probably tell y'all off camera. But
yeah.
It hit me over the head so hard. I was like, dude, you wildin'. I Reminisce, I played so much. I used to play that record so much.
I did too.
Off of that first Bilal. I played sometimes and Reminisce, just back to back and just interchanging. And you know, when I first learned how to play bass, that was one of the first things I was like, I want to learn how to play that. First thing I learned how to play was Elevators by Outkast. And I was trying to learn Reminisce and finally got it and was like, yo, this is crazy already on bass. And then, you know, you chopped up a few different things for the bass. Oh, okay. That's why I don't be sampling, because it's a whole nother art form.
Yeah.
I don't be sampling. Y'all do that. I'll just play and y'all sample me or some shit. Because
right.
that's like you have to have a whole nother ear, and your ear has to go into a whole nother dimension for your for that shit to make sense.
All right. Pretty Girl by Eric Roberson.
Oh wow. It's this, I don't know. Let me see. And it's funny because I talked to Arrow about Jay before. And did he say that he met him? I think he was like close to meeting him, maybe through 88 Keys. I hope I'm not fucking the story up. But he was telling me that he was, I think, maybe close to meeting him. It was either through 88 Keys or Geology. One of those cats. And it's just crazy to me because like everybody from that time has a Dilla story about how they either met him or almost met him. So just, I mean, it just that's one of them joints where I kind of say I'll say full circle for that one, because it's like, Arrow, who was my brother, who frequent collaborator, and it's like, we've got one of my idols, and we gonna say connect the dots again. It's really pulling everything together in a nice package. So I'll say full circle on that one. That's how I feel about that one.
Damn, you went to the left, really?
I went left.
Yes.
Honest.
Literally.
Literally, yes. She pulling out the joints tonight. What?
Right. And Common, Bilal and Jill Scott, Funky for You.
Oh man. Let me think. Bouncy. That song is really, really bouncy. And like Water for Chocolate, like I love that. I love that record. As a complete project, I love it.
Yep.
I love it to death. It's one of those records where that really convinced me of cover art scheme, because and we've had to talk before how I say that I listen to music and hear music in colors. And with the like Water for Chocolate, like the green shades of green schemes and all that stuff, like everything about that album is shades of green to me. It just really, it really fits. And it's interesting hearing hip hop like at that tempo too. Like that's an up tempo joint for hip hop. Almost party record speed.
Yeah.
But I love that record. I love that record, and I love the interludes that were around it. I like the fact that, I mean, that was like Soulquarians at their peak.
Listen.
Like they were really hitting on all cylinders with songs like Funky for You, and I mentioned Aphrodisiac for the World earlier, and Heat and Doing It, and him chopping up damn Rick James for that shit, which was, I remember when I figured that out, I was like, I'm getting ready to quit music. This is so yeah, that was one of them joints. You just got to shut the computer down for the day. Go look on monster.com at the time. Pop me a motherfucking job real quick. But yeah, I mean, when I hear Funky for You, I think of Bouncy. I think of like Water for Chocolate just being a fully complete project. Like that's one of them joints where you can't really just take one out. You have to listen to that joint cover to cover.
Yes.
To really get it and to really appreciate it. And I like that about Jay's approach. And just making everything that he did and making it sound like he gave a shit about what was being put out.
He already hitting your head right before that, because that's the light. Then to go to Funky for You.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, Funky for You. I think The Questions was after
the questions and time traveling. Oh my God.
And then that goddamn premiere track. Good God, boy. Yeah, it got real ugly on like Water for Chocolate.
Yes, it did.
And and also to bring back what we talked about with Jay on the mic, another clear example of that is his verse on Thelonious.
Yep.
Yeah, Jay got busy. He got busy on that.
Yep. Yeah, he did. Yep. Damn, you about to make you might make me listen to this album tonight.
You gonna run it when we hang up? I know.
Yeah, you know it.
You gonna run it when we hang up?
I am. Yep, you're right.
We've met.
Right.
You're right. Y'all do this after everyone. I go.
Yep,
we run it down and we talk about
it.
All right. And last but not least, didn't you know, Erykah Badu?
Of course.
This was such a great record, and you know, again, you know, they put, I think wasn't the story like he had her pick out a record, and then he kind of took it. I think that was the story. Like
It might have been.
he had her pick out a record, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to fuck it up on record, but the way that, again, the way that they were recreating these original records, because it's funny how many original records were recreated for like Mama's Gun, or for Mama's Gun, and for like Voodoo and things like that, that, you know, you found out a little bit later. It's like, oh shit, that's you know, that's the line, or that's you know, Times of Wasting. You know, when I heard the breakdown for Times of Wasting, I'm like, oh shit, they did that. Okay. So, you know, again, it's like, you know, they're recreating these records, but putting their own stamp on it, writing their own verses on it, putting their own hooks on it. And shout out to my man DJ Dez, who played the congas on Didn't You Know. But to me, like, Didn't You Know was because that wasn't the first single, but wasn't Bag Lady the first single for that album?
I thought it was Didn't You Know. I thought.
Was it Didn't You Know? I can't remember.
Yeah,
I'm seeing the Didn't You Know video first.
Yeah, maybe that might have been it. The video.
I cannot remember if it was.
Was it Bag Lady?
I think the word I have for Didn't You Know is warm. And I know I've used that a lot during this joint, but like
the Big Bag Lady was the first single.
It was okay, yeah. So I just must have saw the video first then.
The singles were Bag Lady, Didn't You Know, Clever.
Okay.
Like Mama's Gun was another one that was like, you know, I remember hearing it and running it, and I think I got to AD 9,000, and I called my homegirl. I was like, yo, if you haven't gotten this shit yet, you need to go to Best Buy right now. To this day, I love that record. I love 89,000, and I love Times of Wasting. But Didn't You Know, like, was kind of the set off point. That was kind of the set it off point. And it's, you know, again, it's color scheme. Like, her color scheme was like brown and like warm colors, and that's what the music felt like to me. So a lot of warmth in that Didn't You Know record. And shout out to Tarika Blue for that OG.
Thank you for sharing. Like, you know, you were sharing that. It's your town, you know, so it's like you were sharing a part of you. So that's
Yeah.
I was hyped up for this.
Yeah. So it was a little apprehensive asking. He was like, I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I can do this. I was like, you can do both.
There we go. And we
yes.
I've been running that other one too. I've been running that one.
Oh, I cannot. Woo, boy. Oh, listen. When Elise told me what it was,
I had almost forgot,
holy
man.
Shit.
I almost forgot how ridiculous that album is.
Listen.
Stupid.
Jesus. Yeah, we going in again. We going in.
Oh yeah, yes. Oh yes.
So I will tell y'all a fun fact. The list of songs I gave you, I literally pulled them straight off of we did a Dilla radio show, and the last segment was songs that Dilla produced that were like mainstream. Like we started off with kind of doing like the samples, and then we just went into some just straight Dilla stuff, and then we did that. So all I did was read down.
You sneaky one. You sneaky one. Sneaky one. Damn,
I didn't even catch it.
I really didn't, yo. I really didn't. Because I was like, what? Damn. I was like, sis going in.
Come on now.
We did our radio show on it. Because we played a lot from Donuts, didn't we? Connecting the dots. Yes.
But yes, we thank you as always. So, you let people know anything you want to tell that's coming up for you or FE family that you want to share.
Well, you know, we're still working on a size new record, me and Tall Black Guy. And we're starting to pull ideas for our own record again. And
oh shit.
Starting to finalize things for this deluxe vinyl for Abstraction. So hopefully that'll be ready for the top of the year. And you know, Man-Made's 10-year is next year also. So you know, I may do something special for that.
And hi, Sai, I love you. Anyway, I'm such a fangirl of her.
Man,
Yeah.
shit, man. Size the shit, man.
And I have been
Yes.
for so long. I've been a fan of hers for so long.
Yeah. And she's so effortless, man. I love it.
All right. Well, yeah. We thank y'all for joining us. Catch that. And we will catch y'all on the next.